Hello students, I am Dr. Sangeeta Sharma, your science teacher. Today we will be starting with a new chapter of your class 10 science book, that is chapter 11, The Human Eye and the Colorful World. In today's video, that is part 1, The Human Eye, we will be learning about the human eye. Students, we will basically understand this chapter into 4 parts, and in the first part we will learn about the human eye. In the second part, we will learn about the defects of vision and their correction. In part 3, we will learn about refraction of light through a prism. In part 4, we will learn about scattering of light. So, in today's video, we will learn about the part 1, that is the human eye. In our previous videos, we have learned about refraction of light through spherical lenses, and through a convex lens we have seen how image is formed. We have learnt about the nature, the position and the relative sizes of the images formed through a convex lens. Now students, the human eye is basically a natural convex lens. So keep in mind whatever we have learnt already and use that to understand this human eye. To begin with, we must understand basically what a human eye is. And as we know that human eye is the sense organ through which we see the beautiful world around us. We are able to see the colors and all the things around us by human eye. So, it is the most significant and sensitive sense organ which enables us to see the beautiful colored world around us. Now here students, I have shown the picture of a human eye which is giving all the parts of this human eye. We have shown the iris, the crystalline lens, the pupil, the aqueous humor, the cornea, the ciliary muscles, the sclerotic, the retina, the vitreous humor and the optic nerve. We will learn about all these parts of the human eye one by one, and we will see what is the role of these parts in viewing any object to form the image of the object to be seen. So to begin with, we will learn about the parts of the human eye. So the parts of the human eye. Basically students, the eyeball is approximately spherical in shape. जो हमारी eyeball है वो almost spherical होती है. Complete sphere नहीं होती है but almost spherical होती है. जो है पीछे की तरफ से जो है eyeball की shape जो है वो sphere की तरह होती है, but front के अंदर जो है वो sphere के आगे के portion के अंदर थोड़ा सा bulging out होता है. This is what we see. So eyeball जो है वो almost spherical in shape होती है except this portion which is a bit bulging out, and the diameter of this sphere is almost 2.3 centimeters. So the eyeball is approximately spherical in shape, having a diameter of about 2.3 centimeters. Now students, we will learn about the various parts of the human eye, and we will begin with sclerotic. Now what we see here is that it is basically a white fibrous tissue which covers the eyeball. So here this portion which I have drawn is basically the sclerotic, and it protects all the vital organs inside the eye. So it is the outermost covering of the eyeball and consists of white fibrous tissue which protects the vital internal parts of the eye. Now here students, the sclerotic, when it comes in front of the eyeball, then it is known as cornea. It is again the white fibrous tissue. What we see here is that when we look towards our eyes, then the white portion we see in our eyes is basically this cornea, and it is a part of the sclerotic and it is in the front of the eyeball. So cornea is the sclerotic layer continues in the front of the eye as the cornea. This is the transparent white portion of the eye which covers the transparent bulge on the surface of the eyeball through which light enters the eye. So basically the light enters the eye through the cornea and we are able to see the images of the objects in front of the eyes. Now students, we will learn about the iris and pupil. Basically, iris and pupil forms the variable aperture system of the eyes. जैसा मैंने बताया स्टूडेंट्स कि आईज जो हैं वो एक नेचुरल कॉन्वेक्स लेंस की तरह काम करती है और कॉन्वेक्स लेंस के अंदर हमने क्या देखा था कि इमेज कैसे फॉर्म होती है और कॉन्वेक्स लेंस जो है वो कन्वर्जिंग लेंस होते हैं और उनकी इमेज फॉर्मेशन, उनकी पोजीशन ऑब्जेक्ट की, पोजीशन इमेज की, नेचर इमेज की, वो सारी चीज़ें हमने हमारे प्रीवियस वीडियोस के अंदर पढ़ी हैं। तो आइरिस एंड प्यूपिल जो है वो कंट्रोल करता है एपर्चर कॉन्वेक्स लेंस का, जो कि हमारा नेचुरल लेंस है आई का। सो द आइरिस एंड the pupil form the variable aperture system of the eye. Now what iris is? Iris is the dark colored muscular diaphragm that controls the size of the pupil. Now students, जो हम आईज के अंदर देखते हैं, व्हाइट पोर्शन जो देखते हैं दैट इज कॉर्निया, और उसके अंदर जो हम एक डार्क ब्राउन या ब्लैक कलर का जो पोर्शन देखते हैं दैट इज आइरिस, और आइरिस के सेंटर में हम एक और सर्कुलर सा पोर्शन देखते हैं दैट इज प्यूपिल। सो अगर हमारी ह्यूमन आई को हम देखें तो ह्यूमन आई के अंदर जो व्हाइट वाला पोर्शन है पूरा दैट इज कॉर्निया, सेंटर के अंदर हमें एक सर्कुलर पोर्शन जो दिखाई देता है जो जनरली डार्क ब्राउन कलर का या ब्लैक कलर का हम जिसे देखते हैं, और कुछ ह्यूमन बींग्स में ये ग्रीन भी होता है और ब्लू भी होता है और लाइट ब्राउन भी होता है। सो दिस इज बेसिकली द आइरिस, एंड इफ यू हैव नोटिस्ड देन in the center of the iris we have another dark black color opening that is known as pupil. So basically this iris controls the size of this pupil, and through the pupil the light enters the eyes, and this pupil size varies according to the amount of light available. So students, when we enter a dark room from a bright room, in the bright room the size of the pupil is small, and when we enter a dark room from a bright room we are not able to see the objects clearly, but after some time we are able to see the objects, because when the dim light is there in the dark room, what happens is the size of the pupil becomes large, that is the pupil size enlarges, due to which more amount of light is able to enter the eyes and we are able to see the objects around us even in dim light. बच्चों, ये ऑब्जर्वेशन जो है वो आप लोगों ने की होगी, अगर नहीं की तो करके देखिएगा कि अगर हम एक ब्राइट रूम में से और एक डार्क रूम में एंटर होते हैं तो ब्राइट रूम में तो क्या होता है, हमारा जो प्यूपिल है जो कि आइरिस के सेंटर के अंदर है, ये जो प्यूपिल है इसका साइज स्मॉल होता है, तो ब्राइट रूम में प्यूपिल का साइज स्मॉल होता है, और जैसे ही हम एक ब्राइट रूम में से और एक डार्क रूम में एंटर होते हैं जहां पे डिम लाइट है, एकदम डार्क रूम होगा तो हमें कुछ भी दिखाई नहीं देगा, पर डिम लाइट वाले रूम के अंदर जब हम एंटर होते हैं तो प्यूपिल के साइज को बड़ा होने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लग जाता है, और जब वो प्यूपिल का साइज थोड़ा सा बड़ा हो जाता है तो जो लाइट है, जो डिम लाइट है उस रूम के अंदर, वो ज्यादा अमाउंट में आईज के अंदर एंटर कर पाती है और हम डिम लाइट में भी चीजों को देख पाते हैं। तो दिस इज हाउ आइरिस कंट्रोल्स द साइज ऑफ द प्यूपिल। और जैसा मैंने बताया, आइरिस जो है वो कलर्ड वाला पोर्शन होता है जो जनरली इंडियन आईज का जो है वो डार्क ब्राउन होता है या यूं कह लीजिए ब्लैक होता है, बट इन सम ह्यूमन बीइंग्स दिस iris is colored as say green, at times blue, greenish blue or light brown also. So what happens is, under the muscular action of iris, the size of the pupil becomes smaller in bright light and larger in dim light. So pupil basically what it does, it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. So pupil regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. So iris and pupil all together form a natural changing variable aperture system of the eyes. dim light के अंदर pupil जो है वो बड़ी रहेगी और ब्राइट लाइट के अंदर जो है वो प्यूपिल का साइज जो है वो स्मॉल हो जाएगा, ताकि ब्राइट लाइट के अंदर कम लाइट से भी काम चल जाएगा, आराम से चीजें देखने में आएंगी, और डिम लाइट के अंदर ज्यादा लाइट चाहिए इसलिए प्यूपिल बड़ा हो जाता है। और इसे कंट्रोल कौन करता है? आइरिस। सो हियर इन दिस फिगर ऑल्सो वी हैव शोन iris and pupil, which I have shown you here in this diagram also. And this is the cornea, which is the white portion. This is the iris, and this center portion is the pupil. Right, students? Now let's see the next part of the eye, that is the eye lens. As I have told you that in our eyes we have a natural convex lens, and this lens is known as the crystalline lens or the eye lens, and basically it is a converging lens. So the eye lens is a convex converging lens made of a transparent jelly-like proteinaceous material. So this is the eye lens. This one is the crystalline eye lens. Then the ciliary muscles. So the ciliary muscles basically hold the eye lens at its proper position. So what we see here is that the ciliary muscles are holding this eye lens at the proper position, that is just behind the cornea, and these ciliary muscles are attached to the sclerotic. So this position of the eye lens is controlled by the ciliary muscles, and what we see is that these ciliary muscles on contracting or relaxing can change the focal length of this lens also. There is a small change in the focal length, due to which we are able to see distant objects and nearby objects. This we will learn a bit later. So for here we have that the ciliary muscles holds the crystalline lens at its proper position, and it is attached to the sclerotic, which is the outermost covering of the eyeball. And moreover, the curvature and therefore the focal length of the eye lens is changed by the action of ciliary muscles. Now once the light enters through the cornea and falls on the lens, then an image is formed, and the screen on which the image is formed is known as retina. So basically the retina is the natural screen of our eyeball, and as we know that when an image is formed on a screen, then the image is always real. Real images are formed on screens. Now retina is the screen and image is being formed on this retina. So this retina is the screen for the eyeball and the image is real. And as we know that all real images are inverted in nature. So what we see here is that this portion, this is the circular portion behind the crystalline lens, and the last portion of the eyeball, which is surrounded by the sclerotic. This is the retina, and it is the natural screen for the eyeball. So the screen on which the image is formed in the eye is called the retina. It is basically behind the eye lens. The retina is behind the eye lens or at the back part of the eye. This we have seen, it is behind the eye lens, or you can say at the back part of the eye. It is a delicate membrane of nerve fibers on the inner side of the back wall of the eye, having a large number of light sensitive cells, which are called rods and cones. The cones of the eyes are sensitive to color, and this membrane consists of so many sensitive cells which are responsible to see the black and white or the colored picture of the object, and these sensitive cells basically receive the signal and send it to the brain. So now we will learn about the vitreous humor. The space between the eye lens and the retina is filled with a liquid and it is called vitreous humor. So what we see here is, students, that the space between the eye lens and the retina, so this space is filled by a liquid which is called the vitreous humor. So this portion and the portion, in this portion, the liquid is known as the vitreous humor. Here I would like to tell you that this portion, that is between the cornea and the iris, there is again a transparent liquid which is known as aqueous humor. Now students, we will learn about the optic nerve. Here I have shown the optic nerve. These are basically the optic nerves. These are coming from the brain and it gives us connection between the brain and the eyeball. So what we see is that when the light enters through the cornea and falls on the lens, and after falling on the lens, the lights are converged on the retina. The retina forms a real and inverted image, and these images are sent to the brain through these optic nerves. Right, students? So it is a bundle of nerves originating from the brain and entering the eyeball from the posterior side. This is the posterior side, this is the front side. This is the front side of the eye and this is the back side of the eye. So what we have said is that it entering the eyeball from the posterior side. Its function is to carry electrical signals to the brain. So basically the optic nerves gives the signal to the brain and the brain perceives the signals, and we are able to see the erect and actual sized image of the object. So let's learn the formation of an image by the eye lens. Now as we know, students, that convex lenses are converging lenses. So in case of eyes also the same action is taking place. What we see is that the eye is a convex lens and the light rays which fall on the convex lens converges, and what we see is, say this is the retina, so after converging they meet at a point, say eye, and here the image is formed and this is the retina. And when the light rays meet at eye, the cells which are the sensitive cells called the rods and cones, they get activated and they convert these into electrical signals which are carried by the optic nerves to the brain. Then the brain perceives the message and gives us an actual sized image, and that image is erect too. So the light coming from an object enters the eye through the cornea. The eye lens converges these light rays to form a real, inverted and highly diminished image on the retina. This image which is formed by the lens is real, inverted and highly diminished. And as soon as the light rays reach the retina, the surface of the retina, which consists of a large number of light sensitive cells, and when light falls on these cells, they get activated and generate electrical signals that are sent to the brain by optic nerves, and the observer sees actual sized erect image of the object. Right, students? So this is how the formation of an image takes place in case of the natural convex lens in our eyes, and we are able to see the beautiful world around us. Now let's understand what power of accommodation means. As I told you that ciliary muscles hold the lens at the proper position, and they are also responsible for the change, the slight change in the focal length and hence the radius of curvature of the lens. Now students, there are two positions of the lens. When we need to see far away objects, then what happens is that the lens, let this be the lens, okay. So the lens of the eye is in the relaxed position, or you can say that the lens is in original position and the ciliary muscles are in relaxed position. Here what we say is this is the unaccommodated position of the eye lens. Now since the curvature is large, that is the radius of curvature of this thin lens is large, its focal length is large and the converging power is less. Now this is the position when we are able to see distant ऑब्जेक्ट्स. दिस इज द थिन पोजीशन. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है स्टूडेंट्स कि मसल्स जो हैं, जो सीलियरी मसल्स इस लेंस को कंट्रोल करती हैं, होल्ड करती हैं, सीलियरी मसल्स अनअकोमोडेटेड आई पोजीशन को जो है रिलैक्स्ड पोजीशन के अंदर रखती हैं. यानी कि हम इसे क्या बोलते हैं, अनअकोमोडेटेड पोजीशन ऑफ द आई. यहाँ पे सीलियरी मसल्स कैसी हैं बेटा, यहाँ पे सीलियरी मसल्स जो हैं वो रिलैक्स्ड पोजीशन में है. तो ये लेंस कैसा है, थिन है, पतला है, और यहाँ पे इसकी जो फोकल लेंथ है वो लार्ज होगी क्योंकि रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर बहुत ज़्यादा है, और उस केस में हम डिस्टेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स को ईजिली देख पाते हैं. अब जब हमें पास की चीजें देखनी है, when we want to see the near objects, then what happens is that the ciliary muscles contract, and when they contract, the eye lens becomes thicker, and when the eye lens becomes thicker, its radius of curvature reduces and its focal length reduces, and hence its converging power increases and we are able to see nearby objects. This is known as the accommodated position of the eye lens. अब यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है स्टूडेंट्स कि जब हमें पास की चीजें देखनी है, पहले पोजीशन ऐसे थी लेंस की, और जब हमें पास की चीजें देखनी है तो जो सीलियरी मसल्स हैं जिन्होंने इस लेंस को प्रॉपर पोजीशन के अंदर होल्ड किया हुआ है, वो सीलियरी मसल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होती हैं और ये धीरे धीरे इसका कर्वेचर जो है वो इस तरीके से हो जाता है कि ये लेंस थिक लेंस हो जाता है, मोटा लेंस हो जाता है. और जैसे ही ये लेंस मोटा होता है, इसका रेडियस ऑफ कर्वेचर कम हो जाता है, इसकी फोकल लेंथ कम हो जाती है और इसका कन्वर्जिंग पावर जो है वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है और हमें पास की चीज़ें जो है, जो चीज़ें आईज के पास हैं, वो इजीली नज़र आ जाती है. तो ये सीलियरी मसल्स जो इसको रिलैक्स्ड पोजीशन से टेंस्ड पोजीशन के अंदर लेके आती है, ये अनअकोमोडेटेड पोजीशन है, ये अकोमोडेटेड पोजीशंस हैं. तो ये जो सीलियरी मसल्स जो ये करती हैं और इस एक्शन को, इस पूरे प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोलते हैं, पावर ऑफ एकोमोडेशन. So what we see here is students, the ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length is called power of accommodation. Now the eye lens is composed of a fibrous jelly-like material. Its curvature can be modified to some extent by the ciliary muscles. The change in the curvature of the eye lens can thus change its focal length. Now the first position, when the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the eye lens is in its unaccommodated position. We will study about this. So when the muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin. Thus its focal length increases. This enables us to see distant objects clearly. Now students, this is basically the unaccommodated position when the ciliary muscles are in the relaxed mode. Now when we look at objects closer to the eye, the ciliary muscles contract. And in this position, we say that the eyeball is tensed, or we can say that the eye lens is in its tensed position. This increases the curvature of the eye lens. The eye lens then becomes thicker. Consequently, the focal length of the eye lens decreases. This enables us to see nearby objects clearly, and this position is known as the accommodated position. Now we will learn about the least distance of distinct vision, which is also known as the near point of the eye. So students, have you observed कि जब हम अपनी एक फिंगर को आईज के फ्रंट में रखते हैं और इसे धीरे धीरे दोनों आईज खुली रखते हुए इसे जब हम धीरे धीरे आईज के पास लेके आते हैं, तो एक पोजीशन के बाद में इसकी हमें इमेज जो है वो ब्लर नज़र आने लगती है. ऐसा क्यों होता है स्टूडेंट्स? बिकॉज हमारा जो ये आई लेंस है ये डिस्टिंक्टली किसी ऑब्जेक्ट की प्रॉपर इमेज तभी तक बना सकता है जब वो आई से ऑलमोस्ट 25 सेंटीमीटर की डिस्टेंस पर है, एंड दिस पोजिशन इज नोन एज द नियर पॉइंट ऑफ द आई. So the least distance of distinct vision is 25 centimeter for a normal young adult eye. The minimum distance at which objects can be seen most distinctly without strain is called the least distance of distinct vision, and for a young adult with normal vision the near point is about 25 centimeters. So this is the least distance at which our normal eyes are able to see the clear picture of the objects. Now what about the far point? हम maximum कितनी दूरी तक देख सकते हैं? So the far point for a normal eye is infinity. So the far point of the eye, the farthest point up to which the eye can see the objects clearly is called the far point of the eye. It is infinity for a normal eye. So basically students, a normal eye can see all the things, all the objects which are placed between 25 centimeters, the near point, and infinity, the far point. So a normal eye can see objects clearly that are between 25 centimeter and infinity. Now we will learn about persistence of vision. आप लोगों ने स्टूडेंट्स कभी वो वाला खेल देखा है जो कि जनरली एक छोटेपन में हमारे को एक जादूगर ने दिखाया होता है? होता क्या है, पेपर के एक तरफ में अगर एक बर्ड की पिक्चर बनी हुई हो और पेपर के दूसरी तरफ एक केज की पिक्चर बनी हुई हो, और इस पेज को फटाफट रोटेट किया जाए, जल्दी जल्दी रोटेट किया जाए, उसके नीचे स्टिक लगी हुई हो, तो क्या दिखाई देता है कि वो जो बर्ड की पिक्चर है वो क्या दिखाई देती है हमें, कि जैसे कि बर्ड केज के अंदर हो. ऐसा क्यों होता है? दूसरा ऑब्जर्वेशन आप लोगों ने किया होगा स्टूडेंट्स कि अगर एक रूम में ट्यूबलाइट या कोई भी और लाइट का सोर्स हो और हम उसकी तरफ थोड़ी देर तक देखते हैं, और देखने के बाद में अगर हम हमारी आईज को क्लोज कर लें तो उस इमेज की, तो उस ब्राइट लाइट की एक इमेज हमारी आईज में दिखाई देती रहती है फ्यू सेकेंड्स तक. तो ऐसा क्यों होता है? ऐसा होता है परसिस्टेंस ऑफ विजन के कारण. यानी कि हमारी आईज में जो पिक्चर बनती है, जो इमेज बनती है किसी ऑब्जेक्ट की, वो फेड नहीं होती एकदम से, वो परसिस्ट करती है, वो वहां पे स्टे करती है 1/16 ऑफ अ सेकेंड तक. यानी कि जो बर्ड की इमेज थी, बर्ड तो हट गई, पेपर फ्लिप हो गया, पर उसके बावजूद बर्ड की जो इमेज है वो हमारी आंखों में 1/16 ऑफ अ सेकेंड तक स्टे करती है, और वो उससे जल्दी हमने पेपर को फ्लिप कर दिया और अब हमारी आंखों के सामने क्या आ गया? केज की पिक्चर आ गई. तो पहले से बर्ड की पिक्चर तो थी ही और केज की पिक्चर आ गई, तो ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि बर्ड केज के अंदर हो. सो दिस इज नोन एज परसिस्टेंस ऑफ विजन. The image formed of an object formed on the retina of the eye is neither permanently nor it fades away instantly. In fact, the image of any object seen persists on the retina for 1/16 seconds even after the removal of the ऑब्जेक्ट. तो अगर ऑब्जेक्ट को हमारी आंखों के सामने से एकदम से हटा भी लिया जाए तो 1 सेकेंड के 16th पार्ट तक जो है उसकी इमेज हमारी आईज के आगे रहेगी, एंड दिस इज नोन एज persistence of vision. That is, this continuance of sensation of eye for some time even after the removal of the object is called persistence of vision, and this phenomenon is used for cinematography, that is the motion picture projection. Cinematography is based on the phenomenon of persistence of विजन. जो हम मूवीज देखते हैं, जो हम मूविंग पिक्चर्स देखते हैं, वो बेसिकली इसी फिनोमिनन के ऊपर आधारित होती हैं, यानी कि इसी फिनोमिनन के कारण जो है हमें मोशन पिक्चर्स दिखाई देती हैं. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट ह्यूमन आई. In today's video, we learnt about human eye, the most sensitive sense organ. We learnt about all the parts of the human eye and their role in image formation. Then we learnt about the power of accommodation, and then the far point and the near point of a normal eye, and then we learnt about the persistence of vision. This is all about human eye. Now students, if any part of the eye is defective, then the vision is impaired. That is, we are not able to see proper image, and in that case we say that there is defect in vision. So in our next video we will learn about the defects of vision and how they can be corrected. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.